reasons in more detail, more specifically, for why those 13 business courses were so instrumental in their success, and then look deeper at the implications. So what does that mean for you in your IT operation? I know you're not going to spin your IT department off into a separate company. That is not what is being proposed here in this lecture. But there are a lot of lessons that we can learn from ITCO when they did do that, that can be imported back into an IT operation that's organic to a larger company and see some significant improvements in operations and efficiency when we import those lessons. I want to begin by drawing attention to these 13 courses that were taught to the ITCO managers. All ITCO managers were taught each of these 13 courses. And if you remember last time, we discussed the fact that the instructors in the end ended up being the senior executives of ITCO, actually teaching these courses in a classroom to ensure that the managers took this seriously. The first course that we want to talk about here, they taught a course in the ITCO business model. Now, for your homework, you have been assigned an exercise of identifying for each of these courses why that course would result in increased revenues for ITCO, and why that course would result in improved customer satisfaction. Now, why do we do this exercise? Well, it's interesting. Once you begin to understand how each of these courses impacts these two items, then you need to ask yourself the question, is it valuable to me in my IT organization, my organic IT organization, as opposed to some spin-off as a separate company, but my IT organization, is it valuable to me to have a way to increase the funding of IT projects? And is it valuable to me to have our customer satisfaction from the rest of our internal corporate customers be improved? And most IT managers would say, you know, that might be number one and number two on my hit parade. Those might be the two most important things to me. Well, if that's true, let's think about it for a minute. Maybe if we could figure out how ITCO was so successful in making those two goals happen, in increasing their revenues, translation to you, increase your IT funding, and improving customer satisfaction among their customer base, translation to you, improving your customer satisfaction from your internal corporate customers. If we can figure out how ITCO did that, then maybe we can use the same mechanism and cause the same effect to happen in our IT organization. That's really the entire reason that we study this case study. So let's look at each of these courses in some detail and think about this together. All right, ITCO business model. Why would that bring increased revenues? So just sit there and think about it for a minute. Why would teaching all of our managers bring increased revenues? And why would teaching all of our managers about the ITCO business model improve customer satisfaction? All right, well, this first one, if we can get everybody on our ITCO management team focused on the same goal, using the same process, Don't you think that that would do something to significantly decrease the inefficiencies in the way we go about trying to attract business to the company? Absolutely. And that's going to result in increased revenues. How about improved customer satisfaction? Well, again, if sometimes customers are dissatisfied because of frustration, and frustration that comes from not understanding the approval process for getting their projects to have a high priority on IT's list of things to get done, and to sometimes to get the funding they need to make the project happen. Let's take a look at the next course. The next course is how IT company got started. Much the same thinking. The next one is operating in a political environment. Well, we have a lecture in this course on internal corporate politics. And in that lecture, we talk about that properly understanding the political process is a key to influencing folks to get done what you need to get done. Well, what is it in this column that we want IT managers to be able to influence our customers to do? Okay, in ITCO's case, it's buy IT projects and IT services from ITCO. Okay. In your case, it's the same thing. In your case, it's getting the customers to buy their projects from you. What do we mean by buy? You may be sitting there going, well, we already have more projects than we can do. Yeah, the customer isn't buying them. What happens when the customer comes to you with an IT project and the additional funding to make the project happen out of their budget? It's an interesting thought. Teaching your IT managers to be more competent in their political skills will begin to cause that sort of behavior in your organization. That's a very desired outcome for any IT organization that I've ever seen. Okay, how about this notion of improved customer satisfaction? How does teaching folks to operate in a political environment improve customer satisfaction? Well, one of the things that politics does is it makes friends out of your adversaries. It makes you smart in how to do that. How to turn people that might, under some set of circumstances, work against you and cause them to become your allies in helping to get funding and helping to see your projects as their projects and to be in the boat with you, so to speak, helping you at the oars. That's a very desired outcome by any senior IT management that I've ever met and spoken with. Yeah, I mean, if I can get my customers to start seeing that they're in this with me and want to be helping me, then they're going to see that the end result is actually their project, and their customer satisfaction is going to go way up. So that's partly how this dynamic works. Let's look at the next course we have on here, building relationships. Why do we need to spend time teaching professional IT people how to build relationships? Well, I'll just speak for me personally. When I graduated from college, I envisioned myself doing a lot of computer programming, building software for as far as I could see into the future.